So we must do two things, two great things together to encompass that enormous new view that lies before us, but to encompass it within the framework of science, to see it within the whole categorical framework of science, and to see that these two are not separate, but that they are wedded. The bigness of the idea, the newness of the idea, the greatness of it is one with the structure of science, the structure of being itself. He fed the 5,000. How did he do it? He did it with 5 loaves and 2 fishes. And having done that, they gathered up from those 5,000 who had been fed and been filled and were fulfilled in that full sense of life. You see, they represented something about the full sense of life. They were there ready to receive the fullness of life, wanting to partake of the fullness of life. And to feed that, he needed life. Life would feed the desire and openness for life. And so he had 5 loaves, the 5 loaves of the bread of life. And with the 2 fishes, he was able to feed them. We won't go into that anymore. It's too big. But the result was that they took up 12 baskets full. 12 baskets full left over. Just another indication of the demonstration, the fullness of the demonstration. 12 baskets full left over. So also in that love tone, that love section, you see comes in the asking of, this is where he healed on the Sabbath day. He broke through the limitations of all of that dogma, all of that false teaching, all of the ritualism. He broke those limitations. He asked, "Who is my mother and who are my brethren?" And he gave the answer. He said, "Whosoever does the will of my Father which is in heaven." And so you get really that family sense coming in. What is that? What tone is that? Family sense? Christianity. Identifying one's family through infinite reflection. One universal family held in the gospel of love. Love is shown as fulfilling the measure of life, the full measure of life. It's love that makes that possible. Okay. That brings us to truth. To truth, and how, in what way does it bring us to truth? You can see that as Jesus was impelled from one great stage to another great stage, all through those first 5 stages of mind, spirit, soul, principle, life, that life was impelling him really toward his full stature of manhood. You see that in the 6th subject of truth, the accent is on this manhood as a divine calculus of God. That is the full stature. To have the full stature of man is to be a divine infinite calculus of ideas versus a calculus of human opinions, human calculations. We see that life in its fullness and allness, as life has shown us, is leading us really to the health of truth, the wholeness of truth, the consciousness of this, and the consciousness of this health and wholeness is true manhood. It is our Christ manhood. So it is man not as a mortal calculus, but as a calculus of ideas versus the mortal calculus. Life, if we take life, truth, and love, we'll see that, let's set the attractor in the field. The attractor in this field will be the complete resolution of the mortal calculus, the total resolving of the mortal calculus through the divine calculus. It will be to establish this not only for the individual, but universally, for universal consciousness. How is love going to do that? It will do it through life and truth. It will do it first by impelling and establishing this consciousness. We can't get away from it. That is going on with us day by day by day, that true calculus is being impelled upon us as our own calculus of consciousness. And then we will see that truth comes in and says, I cause you to affirm this true calculus, and we begin to realize that this raises up in us the dominion of truth, dominion over the false human calculus. So again, the goal that is set by love is to establish the divine calculus as the only calculus, as the one calculus of consciousness, having totally resolved the mortal calculus within us. To do that not only for the individual, but universally. Therefore, individually, collectively, universally. How does it do it? By impelling that calculus upon us. Life does that. What does truth do? It begins to cause that calculus to be affirmed within us. Not only that we see it, not only that we realize what that calculus is, but we begin to take up that conscious affirmation within us, to affirm it in every situation, to confirm it within us. And that gives us dominion, begins to give us dominion over the mortal calculus. It begins to translate the false calculus, to translate the human back into the divine, until again we reach love and we find that that false calculus is totally resolved and that it is universally established. Did you hear it as a circle? Yes. Here we're looking again at the question of a paradigm, but it's an enormous paradigm. It's like a holistic or a whole paradigm. The paradigm of the mortal and the immortal. The two paradigms of the mortal and the immortal. The paradigm of mortality or the mortal calculus and the paradigm of immortality, the immortal calculus. This is being addressed now, and because it is so big, so whole, so totally all-inclusive from truth's standpoint, you see that every part of that whole will be addressed.